I'm Lauren, a certified teacher and literacy specialist, and today we're going to be reading one of my favorite stories, Night Owl and Early Bird, about two unlikely friends who are as different as night and day. Written by me, Lauren Fornoles, and illustrated by Xiao. Night Owl and Early Bird. Chapter 1. Meet Night Owl and Early Bird. The sun was setting outside Night Owl and Early Bird's tree. Night Owl turned to Early Bird and said, "Good morning." "You mean good night," said Early Bird. The two friends looked out the window together. It was starting to get dark. Night Owl put a wing around Early Bird's shoulders. "Night is day for me, sweet chick, and I am hungry for breakfast." Night Owl's tummy rumbled. Early Bird shook her head and smiled. "Your day is my night. Soon I will rest, but first I need my bedtime snack." Early Bird shuffled toward the kitchen. Night Owl followed her. They made tea for Early Bird's bedtime snack and toast for Night Owl's breakfast. They sat down at the table to eat together. "I love you, Early Bird," said Night Owl. "Night Owl, I love you," said Early Bird. For two friends do not have to be the same to love each other. Chapter 2. Night Owl and Early Bird watch a scary movie. It was nighttime. Night Owl and Early Bird were inside their tree. Early Bird said, "Night is the best time to watch a scary movie." I'd like to, Early Bird," Night Owl began. "But I am scared," said Night Owl. "We will make popcorn and wear slippers and build a pillow fort. Then it will not be so scary." Early Bird put on her slippers. Night Owl was just putting on his when they heard a loud sound from the kitchen. Pop, 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 bang! "Early Bird, I'm scared," Night Owl said. "It's okay, Night Owl. That is just the popcorn popping," said Early Bird. Night Owl peeked inside the kitchen. He saw a big bowl of golden popcorn. It smelled so delicious. Night Owl went back into the living room. But there he saw a tall shadow. It had eyes that glowed and great big arms. "There's a ghost in the living room," said Night Owl. Early Bird came in from the kitchen to see. "Oh, Night Owl, that is just our pillow fort," said Early Bird. Night Owl reached out a wing to touch the ghost. It was a very soft ghost, and it felt like it was filled with feathers. Early Bird was right. It was just their pillow fort. Night Owl and Early Bird climbed inside their pillow fort. They ate their popcorn. Early Bird turned on the scary movie. Night Owl was still not sure he wanted to watch. "Early Bird," said Night Owl, "did you know that owls can turn their heads all the way around?" "I did not," said Early Bird. "Would you like to see?" said Night Owl. "Yes," said Early Bird. Night Owl turned his head until he was looking all the way at the back of the couch. Now we can sit together and watch the scary movie, Night Owl said. And so they did. Chapter 3. Night Owl and Early Bird Go to the Beach. The sun was rising outside Night Owl and Early Bird's tree. Early Bird shuffled downstairs in her slippers, yawning. Night Owl asked, "How did you sleep, Early Bird?" "I had some nightmares, Night Owl. That movie was too scary for me," said Early Bird. Night Owl looked thoughtful. "What do you think would make you feel better?" said Night Owl. Early Bird thought and thought and thought. "I know! The sun makes me feel better. Would you come with me to the beach today?" "Yes," said Night Owl. "I don't think I've ever been to the beach during the day." So the two friends flew to the beach. "This looks like a good spot to sit and watch the waves," said Early Bird as she unrolled her towel on the warm sand. Night Owl tried to unroll his, but he couldn't see. There was something very bright in the sky where the moon usually was. "What is that shiny thing in the sky?" said Night Owl. "Why, that is the sun," laughed Early Bird. Night Owl looked around, squinting to see better. "What are those dark things on everybody's eyes?" asked Night Owl. "Why, those are sunglasses," said Early Bird. Early Bird had an idea. "We will get you a hat, sunglasses, and sunblock. Then you will be ready to play at the beach," said Early Bird. A short time later, Night Owl put on his sunglasses, and his hat, and his sunblock. Everything looked like night, but felt much hotter. "Let's make a sandcastle," said Early Bird. They built a sandcastle so big, Night Owl had to fly to peek over it. I think it's missing something," said Early Bird. "Oof!" said Night Owl. "I've stepped on something sharp." "Why, you found seashells," said Early Bird. "They are just what we need to add to our sandcastle." Night Owl and Early Bird built their sandcastle until it was dark. Early Bird took off her sunglasses. Night Owl decided to keep his on. It was time to go home. They waved goodbye to their sandcastle with seashells. "I love the beach," said Night Owl. "Thank you for asking me to come." Chapter 4. Night Owl and Early Bird Take a Night Hike. It was nighttime at Early Bird and Night Owl's tree. They were getting ready for a night hike. Early Bird packed lots of tasty seeds, and Night Owl packed some secret supplies. Early Bird asked, "What's the secret supplies?" "You will see," said Night Owl. The two friends were ready. They walked outside. Just then, Early Bird heard a screeching sound. "What is that sound, Night Owl?" said Early Bird. She was scared. "Oh, those are just the bats. They come out at night to eat, just like me. It's their breakfast time, too," said Night Owl. I am hungry," said Early Bird. "Maybe I will eat my midnight snack." Early Bird ate her tasty seeds, one by one by one. "Yum," she said. "I think I like night hikes." "The best part of night hikes is making s'mores," said Night Owl. "What's a s'more?" said Early Bird. "You will have one and see," said Night Owl. Night Owl and Early Bird came to the campfire pit. The fire burned bright red and orange. Night Owl took out his secret supplies. He took out marshmallows, graham crackers, and a chocolate bar. Night Owl found a stick and put a marshmallow on it. He held it over the fire. The marshmallow turned brown. There was even a little smoke coming from it. "What will you do with that brown marshmallow?" asked Early Bird. "You will see," said Night Owl. Night Owl opened the box of graham crackers. He put the chocolate bar on top of a cracker. Then he put the brown marshmallow on top of the chocolate. Finally, he put another cracker on top. Squish, crackle, pop! Night Owl squished it all together. "Here you go, Early Bird," said Night Owl. "Your very first s'more." Early Bird took a bite. Then another. Then another. Then another. "These are so yummy! I want some more!" said Early Bird. "Here are some more s'mores," said Night Owl. Night Owl and Early Bird ate their s'mores and listened to the sounds of the night. "This has been the best night hike," said Early Bird. Chapter 5. Night Owl and Early Bird watch the sun set. The next morning, the sky was rosy with red, orange, and pink. "Watch the sun rise with me, Night Owl. You will see why I love the day," said Early Bird. The sun was just a sliver at first, but then it grew and grew until it was warm and the color of orange juice. The night crickets stopped chirping, and dew sparkled on the grass. It was day. The two friends yawned, tired from their night adventure. It was time for Night Owl to go to bed and for Early Bird to take a nap. The morning sun climbed its way across the sky until noon, then started on its way to sunset. Early Bird wore her pajamas. Night Owl was dressed to go out. "This is a part of the day that we can share together," said Early Bird. The two friends sat on the front porch to watch the sky. Night Owl wore his sunglasses from the beach. Early Bird brought a s'more from their hike as a bedtime snack. They both sat on pillows from their comfy pillow fort. The sun began to set. The colors of the sky changed from yellow to orange to red. The sun was almost down and their day together almost over. Night Owl said, "Watch the moon rise with me, Early Bird. Tonight it will be big and full. You will see why I love the night." The two friends watched the moon rise. It was big. It was full. Early Bird thought it looked a little like the sun. Then, quietly peeking through the night sky, they saw the hundreds of twinkling stars. It was beautiful. Early Bird began to yawn. "I will see you at breakfast," said Early Bird. "You mean dinner," said Night Owl. For two friends do not have to be the same to love each other. The end. I hope you enjoyed this time at the Storied Forest, and we can't wait to see you again next time. Goodbye!